It's Tuesday, January 28, and we're almost at the end of the month. Hello and welcome to this edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. Coming up, we look back at a disaster simulation exercise that uses house roof and location data to determine what is likely to happen in the event of a hurricane, tropical storm or earthquake. Do stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
Want to know the law pertaining to renting a house? What about the procedure if you're arrested? Or what is defined as corruption? Then click on the Ministry of Justice website. It has information on every law passed in Jamaica. The House of Parliament portal also has the more recent year's pieces of legislation. The sites are easy to search and the files are downloadable. Make access to justice your business. Know your rights.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, January 28, 2025. 55 bridges across the island are set to be upgraded or replaced, enhancing connectivity, public safety, and economic growth. The Accelerated Bridge Renewal Program will be funded by UK Export Finance, the UK government's export credit agency. A framework agreement for the program was signed during a recent reception at the British High Commissioner's residence in Kingston. It builds on a memorandum of understanding signed in April 2024 by the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service and UK Export Finance.
Here in Jamaica, UKEF has a market capacity of £5 billion and stands ready to support projects that foster economic growth and development. From providing 100% UK government-backed guarantees to facilitating collaboration between global contractors and local suppliers, UKEF is a testament to the UK's commitment to being a reliable partner for progress.
The National Works Agency will oversee 2 UK firms in execution of the work. Acro Bridge will supply materials for the replacement bridges, while civil engineering firm Lagan will handle the installation of the bridges.
I want to really thank the UK government for being a friend of Jamaica for a very long time. I think that this bridge program is another step in building stronger bonds, or as you say, building stronger bridges between both countries.
4 families in Westmoreland are now enjoying improved shelter as they join hundreds of Jamaicans who have benefited from government's new social housing program, NSHP. It was bittersweet for the Gray family in Bath Mountain and the Salmon family in Blackness, who both lost their patriarchs before receiving their brand new homes to help alleviate the poor conditions in which they were living. Paulette Brown of Brownyard was overcome with gladness for the home she was gifted. So too was visually impaired Jeffter McIntosh, who showed much gratitude for his new home, the kindness of the program, and his fellow community members who aided him.
I am so elated to know that I am a proud, a happy. I can't even find words to describe my feelings to know that I am about to be a recipient of a nice, constructed, well, decent apartment to call me own for the rest of my life. It's amazing.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness, who presented the units, promised that there were plans in place to make sure that the people of Westmoreland get the attention they deserve.
Westmoreland has many assets, many opportunities, and we are going to ensure that we put in place an economic plan for Westmoreland, which will develop not just your roads and your water, but provide an economy which will give income to the many young persons who are in this parish.
The Prime Minister says he will have more about these plans in his upcoming budget presentation. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation says it is taking steps to expedite the completion of 2 NSHP houses in central Kingston, which have been delayed due to the contractor's inability to complete the project according to schedule. An update was provided in a statement from the ministry this week in response to media reports about the delayed construction. The statement reveals that the contract was terminated on December 30 last year due to non-performance. It came after 2 requests for extension were granted, but the work was still not completed. The contract was put back to tender, and the ministry is now working towards ensuring that the project is completed by the end of February. The NSHP has so far delivered 280 units, benefiting over 968 individuals across 57 of the 63 constituencies in Jamaica. Currently, there are 40 projects being pursued, and a total of 75 projects, or 242 units, are expected to commence between now and the next financial year. In the Central Kingston constituency, 6 housing units have been completed to date, and 5 are under construction. The government has distributed more than 4,000 citrus plants in Manchester as part of a broader initiative to revive the country's citrus industry. The effort comes in response to the significant decline caused by the citrus greening disease, a bacterial infection of citrus plants. Once infected, a tree can remain asymptomatic but still spread the bacteria to other trees, often leading to the death of most infected plants within a few years. Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Floyd Green, explains that the disease has wiped out the majority of Jamaica's citrus crops. He made the disclosure during the 20th Jamaica Stock Exchange Investments and Capital Markets Conference held recently in New Kingston. As part of ongoing efforts to rebuild the industry, former bauxite lands in Manchester are being repurposed for the citrus replanting exercise. In addition, research has been conducted to identify citrus varieties that are more resistant to the disease. The Agriculture Minister says the revitalization program includes the development of greenhouses, which are being built in collaboration with the Jamaica Bauxite Institute. There are also plans for a new program focusing on lime production, which will involve planting lime varieties that are better equipped to resist citrus greening. Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon has announced plans to increase teaching time and introduce specialized interventions to assist students and schools facing significant challenges. She made the statement during the recent official launch of the Grade 7 Academy at the Holy Trinity High School. The program, which is spearheaded by St. Michael's College in partnership with the ministry, offers an adjusted curriculum focused on remedial reading, writing, and numeracy. It began at Holy Trinity High in September 2024 and at Newell High in January. Minister Morris-Dixon has praised the Academy's data-driven approach and the comprehensive research that has gone into understanding the environmental factors affecting student achievement.
I welcome all the data and the approach that's taken in this particular initiative because it will help us to understand what we can do with the other schools. So this is all about scaling, but we have to learn from different institutions and learn what works and what's not working.
The primary focus of the program is to improve literacy and numeracy for students entering high school with lower academic performance. The first year will prioritize remedial classes to build foundational skills with a goal of raising reading levels from 12% at grade 6 to 70%.
We're going to limit the student intake so that no class has more than 20 students. And the second thing is we suspended the normal curriculum. We reduced the number of subjects on the timetable to make space, more space even for language arts and maths every day. 1 hour of uninterrupted instruction complemented by 40 minutes of practice on the prescribed software in each discipline.
And finally, close to 10,000 Jamaicans participated in government's inaugural Health and Wellness Career Expo and Employment Fair from January 22 to 23. It was held at the University of the West Indies, Mona campus. The Ministry of Health and Wellness organized the event in response to the limited availability of professionals for some specialist areas and the challenges caused by migration and competition from overseas recruiters. From preliminary count, close to 3,000 persons were screened for the available 600-plus job vacancies. Almost 7,000 students and other members of the public visited various booths with more than 26 pathways in health on display. Minister Christopher Tufton has signaled that the event will become a regular staple to fill vacant positions in the health system.
This is not and should not be viewed, this expo and job fair, as a one-off singular event.
He also stressed that the government would continue to provide incentives for persons to enter the health sector through initiatives such as the $2.5 billion Dr. Barry Wintz Scholarship.
Last year we gave 600 people. This year we will continue for the next 4 years. And of course, have those persons come back to work in public health.
And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
Jamaica's population is aging rapidly. Over 350,000, or 13.2% of Jamaicans, are senior citizens. These individuals deserve our care and respect. Very often, our senior citizens are neglected, disregarded, and disrespected. It's time to act. A special select committee of the Senate is reviewing a motion proposing the creation of an Elderly Care and Protection Act to better safeguard the rights and dignity of our senior citizens. We invite you to share your suggestions and recommendations about what should be included in this act. Send your submission in writing to Clerk to the Houses, Gordon House, 81 Duke Street, Kingston, or email clark@japarliament.gov.jm. The deadline for submissions is February 15, 2025. Let's work together to protect and create a more inclusive and supportive Jamaica for our senior citizens.
A disaster can happen at just about any time, and while we are still in the month of creating earthquake awareness, it's important to stay abreast of the latest technologies that can help you navigate through a natural disaster such as this. Keep watching for an example of such a tool.
Floods and earthquakes are two of the most common natural disasters. But unlike earthquakes, which usually take us by surprise, flooding to some extent can be predicted. Through the use of revolutionary technology, awareness of the possible outcomes of a natural disaster has become more advanced. Persons are now able to use data on location, roof, and house type to create a simulation of what may happen in an earthquake, tropical storm, or hurricane.
The simulation was designed to combine place, type of structure, and event. Because Jamaica is vulnerable to four types of events: hurricane/tropical storms, landslides, floods, and earthquakes. But the same building that you live in is exposed to all four. And that same building you live in will react differently to all four.
Jamaica's landscape equally sits in low-lying and coastal areas as on hills and valleys. The country is also in an earthquake zone, so it can't hurt to do a little research on all the what-ifs, right?
You'll be able to go inside your house and see your roof being blown off, or your slab roof staying on. You'll be inside your slab roof house when earthquake shakes, it comes down on you. We will be able to have those type of simulations.
How about the possible outcome of a Category 5 hurricane if you're living in a zinc roof wooden house that is built on stilts in a river valley? So now that these predictions are available to us, just how useful are they?
This simulator is now designed to take all of that information, the conventional knowledge that we as academics know, or the disaster management professional knows, dump it online as we have. Let the developer, housing developer, have access to it and see for himself. Let the parish council person or the development approval authority play with it.
And once they've viewed it, the authorities can use the data to plan areas for development, approve or deny development applications, and build better. The simulator is not just a special effect disaster interactive tool, but one that takes into account the realities of environmental and living conditions here in Jamaica.
And the simulator also seeks to bring an awareness of the impact natural disasters may have on lives, properties and businesses in relation to the country's national goals.
The effect a hazard would have on everything ranging from the individual to the nation is important, and scaremongering only goes so far.
The simulator allows you to either scare yourself or reassure yourself, but it's based on reality.
Another useful element to this drill is the data it uses. Historical data are planted and come to life through the simulator to facilitate emergency responses as well as forward planning in action.
Knowing where hazards are and knowing where they're not is extremely valuable information to businesses such as insurance. Instead of blanketing Portland as a hazard-prone parish, we can know which parts of Portland are hazard-prone, therefore allowing people in Portland who are not in hazard-prone areas to get lower insurance premiums. You underwrite them differently. And you also underwrite more accurately and properly the people who are in hazard-prone zones.
So, if you have already bought your dream home or are thinking of buying or building, you may want to try a few simulation exercises to test the stability of your home or to find out if where you intend to build is the best place to put down roots.
Earthquakes are not the only threats to the island. Jamaica is particularly vulnerable to drought. That's why it's important for us to understand what contributes to these periods of low to no rainfall.
A prolonged dry period in the natural climate cycle that can and does happen all over the world is called a drought. It is due to a lack of or insufficient rainfall, causing serious water shortages. Increasingly, droughts are being caused by human activities too. Just by existing, we impact the planet, and rapid population growth puts pressure on the land to grow more food. That leads to over-farming, and intense use of marginal land exhausts the soil, making it harder for crops to grow. Another problematic farming practice is excessive irrigation. This disrupts many essential balances in the soil and leads to water loss. Overgrazing by animals also adds to the human causes. Deforestation is another cause. Trees are important for rainfall, so cutting them down interferes with the water cycle. In addition, by cutting down trees, the roots no longer bind the soil and erosion ensues. Let's look at the types of droughts. The first is called a meteorological drought. This is where weather specialists look at the amount of rainfall that the country experiences and compare it to the traditional norms. Depending on how the rainfall level compares to the normal limit, then meteorologists will characterize the drought as normal, severe, or extreme. This will then lead to a hydrological drought, which occurs when our water supplies, such as our reservoirs, become depleted due to the lack of rainfall. And because there is little water to go around, this may lead to an agricultural drought, where low rainfall and little water in our reservoirs lead to a shortfall in water irrigation needed for plants. In Jamaica, the dry season begins in December and continues until April. During this period, we experience a meteorological drought, and a hydrological drought usually follows rapidly due to the strains on water systems. So what can you do in the meantime? Water conservation. Going back to that word we spoke of in the beginning. We should not only conserve water during periods of drought, but certainly during those times it becomes paramount. And we should not take water leakages for granted, as this is wasting a precious commodity that you and others need. Support government initiatives to develop alternative water resources and practice rainwater harvesting.
your heart beating strong. Your health is your wealth. Practice healthy habits. 30 minutes a day keeps heart disease away. Choose life.
Having a health goal that includes weight loss isn't just about going on a diet. It's more so about eating nutritious, balanced foods and doing the right exercises. Let's isolate the exercise part and examine how you can focus on strengthening and toning your lower body the right way.
The following exercise video is for information purposes only and should not be considered medical advice. Before starting any new exercise program, physical activity, or fitness routine, please consult your doctor or a qualified healthcare professional.
Hello again, everyone. My name is Dominic Rainford. Welcome back to A Better You. Today we're focusing on legs. So quickly, legs is the muscles that we use every day. Carries our body weight from we've been able to walk until now. So what we want to do are find ways and means to work our legs with little to no equipment. Alright guys, so warming up, very important. Why it's very important to warm up? Because we need to get the blood flowing in the body. We need to get the ligaments and the tendons loose so that once we work out, we mitigate injuries, right? We're going to start with squats, and it is said that squats is the only exercise that you need if you're going to do one exercise for the rest of your life, because it's that effective. It's a full body workout even though you're working legs. Alright, so we have Ali here with me again, and we'll be going through the exercises. Alright, so let's go. Ali will be feet shoulder width apart, knees following the toes slightly out. Wherever your toes point, rule of thumb, a note, follow your knees, follow your toes. So what we're gonna do, Ali, just like this, and we're gonna go all the way down, slowly down, taking a deep breath while we're going down, and exhale coming up. 1, in again, 2, one more time, 3. So that's the beginner level for squats. Now we're gonna do the intermediates. So the intermediate will look like this. We go to the step. We're using a step for the intermediate. We step up and we do the same thing. Deep breath going down, deep breath coming up. Step up, deep breath going down, deep breath coming up. Just like that, Ali.
Okay.
You step up, down, and up. Excellent. Down, and up. Just like this. Up. Right. Alright, so we would have gone through the beginners, the intermediates. Now we're doing the advanced. So it's jumping now, Ali. So we're going to go right there, jump up, back into the squat, jump up, back into the squat, just like this. Alright, we are going straight into side lunges. Alright, so side lunges is one leg at a time. It's a unilateral exercise. Hands out like this. You lean over to one side, down, come up. Again, keeping this foot straight. 1, excellent. 2, good job. When one side is completed, we transition to the other side. So it looks like this. 1, 2. In, when you're squatting or lunging, when you're coming up, you breathe out. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Now we're hitting glutes. Very important part of the glutes. Muscle is the strongest muscle in the body, and it's also the muscle that we use for a lot of different things. So it's very important to strengthen it, and we're going to be showing you some exercises to do that. Alright, so firstly, we're going to do what we call glute bridges, where you lie down like this. Feet are like this, and you just bring your lower body up and down. Up and squeeze, hold for 2 seconds and down. Up, squeeze, down. Up, squeeze, down. This is the beginner level. We're going to do a little bit more an intermediate, where you do the butterfly version. You fold your feet like this and do the same thing. Go up, hold for 2 seconds and down. Then we have a more advanced one where we stagger the foot. 1 foot up, 1 foot like that, and then we come up. Squeeze, hold for 2 seconds, up, down. Just like that. So the next one we're going to do now is clamshells. So clamshells will lie on the side, just like this. As you can see, she's going to come up and open the leg. Right, down. Up, open the leg, just like that. Up, open the leg, just like this. Down. So we're going to turn around and do the other side. Again, so up and out. Back down, come up and out. It's a more an advanced movement. If you are comfortable doing it, fine. If not, you can stay on the ground. Right, just like this. Just like this. On each side, as you get progress and get stronger, you can come up. Because you use your core to carry yourself up other than your glutes. So that's another reason why your core is important, and that's why we have to strengthen it. All right, intermittent fasting consists of you're eating for 8 hours minimum and resting for 16 hours. Now there are 24 hours in a day, splitting 3 8 hours to make up the 24. So 8 hours out of that you should be sleeping, another 8 hours out of that you should be fasting. So when you're sleeping, you're not eating. So you want to be able to eat, sleep, and 8 hours, another 8 hours not cut off eating, and the final 8 hours when you eat, try to get 2 to 3 meals within that time frame. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our leg day workout. Thank you for participating. But before we go, we want to talk a little bit about stretching. Now, why is it very important for stretching? Mobility, ladies and gentlemen, are very important. Every body part that you work, you want to be able to get not only the strength from it, but the flexibility, be able to move without any issues. 2 quick stretches we'll show you for your quads and your hamstrings. We're gonna bring the knee up, or Ali, go ahead. Hold it with one hand, bring it as high up as possible. And that is stretching your hamstrings. That's one hamstring stretch. Now your hamstring is the muscle directly behind the backside of your leg. You want to stretch and hold anywhere from 10 to 20 seconds each time. Then we're going to go into your quad stretch. Now this is your quads. Quads means four muscles. 1, 2, 3, 4. So to stretch that now, we're going to bring the feet up, show them how to stretch the quad, just like this, and hold it. Just like your hamstrings, you hold that for anywhere from 15 to 20 seconds. Alright guys, so that's it for today. Until next time, stay fit.
And that's it for today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. Remember, staying positive does not mean that things will turn out okay. Rather, it is knowing that you'll be okay no matter how things turn out. Do join us again tomorrow for another informative show. In the meantime, visit our website, gis.gov.jm, for more news you can use. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Stay safe.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.